Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into something that literally keeps the lights on for organizations all over the world. But we're going to look at it through a very specific lens: how Zambian institutions manage to keep running when disruptions strike. We'll be pulling some fantastic insights from Preston Mwinga's guide on business continuity and data recovery. So, whether you're managing public sector IT or just fascinated by how businesses survive the unexpected, this explainer is going to give you a really practical roadmap. Let's dive right in.
Right out of the gate, I want to share this quote from the source's preface because it hits the nail on the head. Business continuity and data recovery are not just technical processes, they are organizational survival tools. We really have to stop looking at this stuff as just routine IT maintenance. When a server completely fails or the regional power drops, it is not just a headache for the tech department, it's an existential threat to the entire organization. Think about that for a second. We are talking about actual survival here.
So to unpack this survival toolkit, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The survival tools, 2. Zambia's unique challenges, 3. The true cost of downtime, 4. Disaster recovery strategies, and finally, 5. Building a continuity culture.
All right, jumping right into Section 1, the survival tools, understanding BC and DR. Let's quickly clear up some of the core jargon.
You hear these three concepts get jumbled together all the time, so let's separate them. First up is business continuity, or BC. The focus here is strictly on operations. The only goal is keeping your essential services running no matter what chaos is happening outside. Now compare that with disaster recovery, or DR. This is a subset of BC, but its laser focus is on your ICT systems and data. The goal is restoring those systems and recovering your digital files after they've been knocked offline. And finally, risk management. This is all about identifying threats to reduce risks before they even happen. To put it simply, risk management tries to stop the fire from starting. Business continuity ensures you can still sell your products while the building is smoking, and disaster recovery focuses on saving the actual files and servers from the flames.
Moving right along to Section 2, Zambia's unique disruption challenges.
When we talk about disruptions in Zambia, we absolutely aren't talking about rare, once-in-a-lifetime black swan events. We're talking about Tuesday. We're looking at frequent power outages, known as load shedding, which can force a hospital or a bank to just halt operations if the generators fail or run out of fuel. Then you've got severe flooding during the rainy seasons that can physically threaten infrastructure, even severing underground fiber optic cables. And, of course, cybersecurity. This isn't just your standard spam folder stuff. We are seeing highly targeted mobile money fraud and sophisticated phishing aimed right at local platforms. Add in general infrastructure limits, and it's pretty obvious why proactive planning here is an absolute necessity, not a luxury. It's about daily survival.
Okay, so we know what the threats are. Let's shift to Section 3, the true cost of downtime.
I seriously want you to think about this. What is the true cost of 24 hours of downtime for a local institution? If your systems went completely dark for a full day, what actually happens? It is way more than just a loss of productivity for a few hours.
The damage cascades in three massive ways. First, operational. Imagine a local university, right? Their system fails during registration week. Students physically can't register. You get massive queues, frustrated crowds, and suddenly the whole academic calendar is delayed. Total operational failure. Second, financial. Think about a commercial bank going down for 12 hours. People can't buy food or pay bills. So what do? They take their money out and go to a competitor. That's instant revenue loss, crazy high emergency repair costs, and maybe even regulatory penalties. And that feeds directly into the third impact, reputational. When the bank goes down, trust vanishes. Social media turns on you instantly, and competitors swoop in. The cost of downtime isn't just paying overtime to your IT guy. It is the brutal cost of losing your community's trust. So, how do organizations fight back? Let's get into Section 4, Practical Disaster Recovery Strategies. When disaster takes out your primary servers, you need a backup location, and you basically have three flavors to choose from. A cold site is, well, an empty room with power and cooling. No IT equipment is actually installed, so it takes forever to set up during a disaster, but hey, it's super cheap. A warm site is the middle ground, partially equipped, much faster to spin up, but a bit more expensive. And then there's the hot site. This is a fully equipped mirror image backup location with live data replication. It's incredibly fast, almost a seamless recovery, but it will cost you. So it really just comes down to a balancing act. What's your budget, and what is your maximum acceptable downtime?
Now, in Zambia, maintaining a private hot site isn't always feasible because of those infrastructure challenges we talked about. Building a secondary facility that relies on the exact same vulnerable power grid completely defeats the purpose, right? Because of this, local institutions lean heavily on alternatives. We're talking secure off-site backups, cloud-based solutions managed internationally, and specialized local data centers that have massive dedicated power redundancy. These give you a robust safety net without the insane overhead of running your own secondary building.
And here's a really smart workaround for unstable internet: local data caching. This is when you temporarily store frequently used data on a local device or a nearby system. Why does this matter? Well, if an excavator accidentally cuts a fiber optic line and your connection to the central server drops, your staff aren't just sitting there staring at blank screens. They can still quickly access those cached, essential files to keep basic operations moving locally. It buys you precious time when the network gets shaky.
But listen, having all this shiny technology is only half the battle. Let's move to our final section, Section 5, Building a Continuity Culture.
Resilient systems are built by people, period. There are 4 pillars of resilience here. Sure, Pillar 3 is technology. You obviously need the servers and the backups. But look at the rest of the picture. Pillar 1, people. You need staff who actually know what to do the second a crisis hits. Pillar 2, process. You need meticulously documented procedures. If the core banking system crashes at 2 a.m., exactly who calls whom. And Pillar 4, leadership. Management has to truly understand these risks and actually sign the checks for the backup generators. If continuity isn't championed by leadership as part of the company culture, the best tech in the world isn't going to save you.
Looking ahead, the whole landscape of resilience is moving incredibly fast. The source highlights trends like deeper integration of cloud computing and hybrid systems, creating this overarching digital resilience. We're also seeing institutions using AI-based threat detection to catch cybercrime early, literally isolating malware before an employee even has the chance to click a bad link. These tools are absolutely huge for shifting organizations from just reacting to disasters to proactively future-proofing themselves.
Which brings me to a final thought to leave you with. If your primary systems failed today, is your institution truly resilient enough to survive tomorrow? Disruptions, whether it's a flood, a grid failure, or a cyber attack, they are completely unavoidable. But a catastrophic impact, that is a choice. Preparedness is what reduces that impact. So take these insights, evaluate your own readiness, and get to work on that survival toolkit. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.